Hello from the dung heap, everybody. These are my friends. A lot of them.
Friends.
There he is. Hi, sweetie.
Hello. Good morning, everybody.
And we're live. Hello. SPTV. Good morning. Hey there, everybody. Good to see you all. Here we are. Just another manic Monday here. Hi. So glad to see you all coming in. I have a very special guest today. You know him. He's literally no one. And we just love him around here. He's also my mod, aka George Massey. And today I want to thank Nancy Alley for stepping in and being backstage for us. Hi. So I thought it was worth talking about Mike Rinder stepping down from both charities, the Aftermath Foundation and also Child USA. We have talked about this in the past. I have been just treading lightly, treading lightly for the past few months. And I think it's time to visit it again. And George did a video on his channel. It's called @literally-no-one-sp. And I thought it was very well done. I would like to play parts of it, maybe all of it, and see, what you all think about his take on everything. And I think his channel's great. And I wanted him to come up and talk about things because he really brings the receipts. He talks about the nuances of different things. And he really cleared the air on some allegations against him, meaning against George himself. Literally no one. So I want to just read the Aftermath Foundation statement. You might have read it. You probably already know about it. And there is no statement from Child USA, but Mike Rinder has been taken off of the part of the website that describes, who the board and their little biography, blurbs. And he has been, I guess, honored as a emeritus, which is like a professor emeritus. I guess when they retire, they're still, considered like an honorary position, but they don't really have a position. So it's basically like retirement. So I just want to read the Aftermath Foundation statement and then play you a little clip from George's video, and then I'll bring him on and we can ask questions. I just want to say I'm not censoring anybody here, but please be respectful. It's okay to criticize. It's okay to bring up points. That's fine. I don't want any really, nasty name calling attacks. That's not what we're here for. But accountability is important. So I will welcome that. So anyways, let's do this. Oh, there's the Aftermath statement. You get to that. And it says, "Thank you, Mike Rinder. We would like to express our deepest and sincere appreciation to Mike Rinder for his service on the board of the Aftermath Foundation since its inception in December 2017. In July 2024, Mike took a medical leave from the board to put some much needed focus on his health. At this time, Mike has made the difficult decision to step down from the board altogether, since he needs to continue focus on his health and his family. We remain grateful for the many years Mike has dedicated to publicly exposing Scientology abuses, advocating for its many victims, and even more so for his extensive work behind the scenes. Please keep Mike and his family in your thoughts and prayers. Mike, you're a true inspiration and one of the best examples of steadfast persistence in your commitment to staying the course. The world's perception of Scientology has dramatically changed in the last decade, in no small part thanks to your tireless work. Thank you so much for all you have done to contribute to the mission of the Aftermath Foundation. We wish you good health and happiness. Kind regards. I'm sorry I'm laughing because I've seen Claire say that so many times. Kind regards to us all, to you all. President Claire Headley, President, the Aftermath Foundation. Sorry to get snarky, but yeah, that really, I don't know, that just got to me. So there's that. And without knowing about him stepping down from the Aftermath Foundation, this statement hadn't come out yet, but George had published his video earlier in the day, and I want to play a clip of that and then bring him on. So let's get that ready. I'll play a little bit of this. One sec, guys. There it is. Okay. And this is at literally no one SP.
It came to light last week that Mike Rinder is no longer a board member of Child USA. Although it's not breaking news, it is indeed news that's very relevant to this channel. As you know, there was a protest planned for November 7th at the Child USA annual gala dinner event in Philadelphia. Given this recent news, that protest will not proceed. The circumstances of Mike's departure from Child USA are unknown. The reason is irrelevant to the outcome. As far as I'm concerned, it's mission accomplished for literally no one. I do not intend to gloat or take pleasure in this news. For me, this mission was never about spite or indeed any sense of revenge. My passion was stirred based on principles and my perception of the injustice for those wronged by Mike Rinder. In particular, Miriam Francis, who brought the issue to everyone's attention earlier this year. Not to forget others that were denied justice during the period of the California look-back window as a result of the exceptionally poor handling of their cases by Child USA under Mike's guidance or misdirection. Mike's declining health has been a concern for many within the ex-Scientology community for over a year now, and I sincerely hope that he can take a breath and focus on his health and his family without the burden of Child USA weighing him down. I do, however, take away a sense of satisfaction that the goal I set for myself was achieved, regardless of how that came about. Some of you may assume that I was a lone campaigner in the effort to have Rinder removed from Child USA, but I want to acknowledge the efforts of the many people that were working on this long before I got involved and the many that joined the effort since my involvement began. In other news, there have been some allegations leveled against me.
Okay, I'll pause it there and minimize that for a second. Okay, the moment we've all been waiting for, the one and only in this corner. It's literally no one. Giorgio, oh, I didn't even have time to go get some tea. Hi, it's MFT time.
Hello.
Hi.
Here we are again.
Here we are. So what's cracking? What say you about all this?
Well, obviously very interesting, right? But you know, I don't wish any ill will on Mike physically. You know, I hope that he gets all the, you know, he can recover from whatever he's going through. But at the end of the day, you know, any illness or cancer is not a get out of jail free card. He's, you know, he needs to be held accountable regardless. You know, I'm aging myself and have ailments. Does that mean I can, you know, escape any past acts that I've, you know, or not be held accountable? No. You know, it's interesting that the Child USA have given him the title of, you know, board member emeritus. He's board member emeritus of Child USA, just like he's the head of OSA emeritus. You know,
that's fair.
He's still operating under the same principles that he harmed people in Scientology. The only thing I can say is that I'm grateful for is that he's no longer in a position to hurt people, which he's been doing it for decades in Scientology and since he's left. And Miriam Francis being the prime example of that. That's about it. That's all I really have to say on the matter. I'm just, I don't know how this happened. I don't care how it happened. I just care that it has happened, right? I don't need to know the details. As far as I'm concerned, it's mission accomplished. How that came about is anyone's guess, but it's done.
Yeah.
But literally no one is not done. I continue on. I will, I have plans for the future for literally no one.
Yeah.
That's
Well, yeah, I appreciate you putting this all together, bringing the receipts and chronicling these things because, as I've said before, and I've come under a lot of fire, but I don't care. It's what I believe. I'll say it again. I believe that the narrative was controlled, and whether Miriam or Serge or whoever's spoken out about Mike Rinder, whether they've been accurate, 100% accurate, or not at all accurate, I stand up for their right to express themselves and to speak their truth. We hear that a lot lately, speaking their truth. Well, that's their perception of what happened, and just to blow it off and just say, how can you even ask these questions? People have a right to ask questions. And, this, I don't wish him any ill either. I sat up for 10 hours and raised money for his treatments. I don't really know if he has cancer as we know it because he supposedly had stage 4, but then it was, I don't know how it works in his blood. And then he had experimental treatments, but then there was, issues about other experimental treatments that other people wanted to have that were supposedly not okay. So it's just a lot of, controlling what people know and what people think. And I'm not, I think that it's worth talking about things because if someone has a question, they have a right to ask. People don't necessarily have to answer. I wouldn't have answered those questions either that that were asked of Mike, but to turn around and hire a lawyer, a public charity, to hire a lawyer to insult and name call the victim and the woman who is a social worker and was trying to help, that I will never think is okay. And yeah, I don't really feel like Mike had the survivors' best interest in mind because of his actions, because of all the interaction that I had with him through email over the course of some time. All he was interested in was bringing down one person. We all know who that is. Not interested in working out the issues that were behind, some problems behind why the stakeholders were so upset, and I felt like I was beating a dead horse at one point. I realized nothing was going to change, but I am glad that, Mike has stepped down. I'm not glad he has cancer, that he's sick. I don't wish that on anyone, but it's not an excuse. And I think you said backstage, I don't know how you said it in your very British way, but that it's just not an excuse. It doesn't make everything else okay.
right. Cancer isn't a get out of jail free card.
That's all you said.
It
Yeah.
doesn't absolve him of his sins or his, sins is kind of a bit of a religious, terminology, but of his wrongdoings.
Yeah, because how soon we forget. I mean, I don't know what he knew or when he knew it or what he did or whatever, but there's still a lot of questions out there. And just the fact that, people like Debbie Cook and Shelley Miscavige and all that were made to be some kind of saints that we needed to protect, when I find as second gens are coming out, like Mike Brown, that and also what was her name, Bianca and Serge, that Debbie Cook was a horrible, reprehensible human being, and so was Shelley Miscavige. So, you
Right.
know,
Well, everyone likes to, it's where's Shelley? It's just clickbait, right? What I want to know is where's Amy? Where's Matt? They've disappeared for over a year now. Are they being held captive somewhere? We don't know. But the point is, why did they all go silent all of a sudden when the shit hit the fan?
well, I think Matt knows too much, but he also was asked by Mike Rinder to take down that comment that he made um on Kelly's video where he called her names and he said that Aaron is like David Miscavige, and I mean he was just so nasty to Kelly, and I came out like Mama Bear, like really upset about it, and then the whole thing happened with Discord, and Discord got involved, and I was like, okay, gloves are off. So there's been a lot of water under the bridge.
The thing is, if the thing that got my interest started was the Miriam interview with Rabbit, right? Miriam lays everything out. So, but it was like a 1 hour interview or whatever it was, something in that time frame. And there was facts. It was like a fire hose of information. And I'm going, whoa, what did she say? What does that mean? And so I thought, well, and at the time of the Rabbit interview, I was like, okay, this is terrible. Nothing I can do about it. But I can't. I wish I could do something, but there's nothing. But it was the reaction to that video that really got my blood boiling. The John Atack video was just a total farce. Laughing and joking. John Atack opens the video to say, I want to get to the bottom of this. The video was titled Mike Rinder Responds to Miriam Francis. Something, I don't know if I got that exactly right, but it was words to that effect. And they were just in there laughing and Atack, who I sort of trusted at that point, was saying, I want to know the truth and I want to be an honest broker and figure this out. And then it just goes into a full PR operation for Rinder, backslapping and high-fiving and laughing. Yeah. They're laughing about a fucking child being abused. How is that okay for the head of sits on the board of 2 charities advocating for abuse victims? That is not okay. And that's where, as you can tell.
I see that. I've never seen you get quite like that. Remind me not to piss you off, Giorgio.
Oh, yeah. My East End.
Yeah, it is. It's just
no. I mean,
sickening.
I mean, obviously, just trying to emphasize the point. But it was, it was their reaction, Rinder's reaction, Stephanie Hutchinson's reaction to Miriam. They showed Miriam no grace. You could disagree with Miriam, but treat her with respect, for Christ's sake. If you're supposedly,
absolutely,
working on behalf of advocates, advocating on behalf of victims. I'm mangling my words.
It's okay.
I'm fired up, Marilyn. Can you tell?
Potty mouth warning.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Thank you, Mischief Managed, for keeping me.
Love your passion, Swedish Lena says. Yep. Stay spirit. Yeah, take a break. Damn right, George. Those biscuits are burning for good reason.
Just on the face of it, it was not okay. If Rinder had they gone silent, maybe we wouldn't be where we are. Maybe literally no one would never have been existed. But it was their reaction that caused, me to respond and get involved.
Paralyzed. I like the side of you, George. Yeah, well, I'm glad you got involved.
I'm Marilyn's protege. I'm the other half of Marilyn and George, right? According to the trolls, we're
Oh,
a
yes.
team. We operate in tandem, which is total BS. I don't have to ask Marilyn for permission, for anything. She doesn't
Of course
control me.
not.
I don't control her. We're two separate entities. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much when you do a video, it's already done by the time, I see it. It's like, here you go. I put it up. I'm like, cool, Yeah. I mean, we talk about things, but I never tell you what to do, or, I hardly ever know when you're going to drop a video. So
we're all under
yeah.
Aaron's control and the
No.
evil overlord, right? I've never spoken to Aaron. I've never emailed. I mean, I think he acknowledged me once in a chat on a live stream. He's pulled up a couple of comments of mine on his live stream, but I have no communication with Aaron at all, ever. I've sent him emails when, back before all this began, and he's ignored me. Oh, wow. I'm so offended. The guy must be getting like
I
1,000
don't even know if he looks at his emails. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, I never expect people to respond to emails. If they do, great. But if they, that was one of the comments on my YouTube. Well, I've written to Aaron and he hasn't responded to me and blah, blah, and he needs to do this and he needs to do that. And I said, well, I used to get frustrated when people weren't covering stuff that I wanted them to cover. You know what I did? I started covering it myself. I went from a watcher to a creator. And that's an option available to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree.
So,
I thought you did a really good job with all your videos, but particularly I'm thinking about that interview and how you broke it down and you called it like "Good Night, John Boy" or something like that. I was very disappointed in their handling of that. Two parts. Yeah, that was really good. And if there's anything, I still have up your other video up, so I'd like to play some of you clearing the air on some of the
yeah, I want to
allegations.
respond to the allegation that I attempted to
Okay,
assassinate.
before you do that, I just want to see. I saw some I Spy with my little eye. Hi, sweetheart. So good to see you, Liz Gale. Love you. So glad you're here. A little teary. Okay, yeah, go ahead. I mean, I can play a clip of it too if you want.
Yeah, somebody accused me of trying to kill them, like attempted murder.
Okay, I'll play it. All right. You're so
And then,
silly.
the nerve of that
Okay.
person, I just want to call them out and let
Okay.
people know it's not true. I have not ever attempted to kill anyone.
Serge, I love Serge. Look at
My involvement began.
Okay, here we
In
go.
other news, there have been some allegations leveled against me that are patently false, which I would like to address. Let me start by saying that I cannot tell you what to believe. You need to look at both sides and make that determination for yourself. However, left unchallenged, these allegations become accepted truth. Therefore, I feel compelled to give my version of events so that you have something to consider before deciding what you believe to be true or not. But seriously, who cares about what people think of me? I am, after all, literally no one, a fact that I've been clear about since day one. A blog post appeared in early October, which states that I am spewing hatred and lies for pointing out and calling into question the behavior and statements made by Aftermath board members and their allies. This is a matter of opinion and should be accepted as a right of the author under the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. So I take no issue with these opinions. Even though I believe them to be spin for the sake of spin, they are opinions which everyone has the right to. With regards to the Child USA protest at the Trenton Country Club in June of this year, the following statement was made.
He took some video of himself following Marcy Hamilton to her car, asking to talk to her.
If this were true, this is a blatant act of intimidation and harassment and should be condemned. However, the reality of the situation is that it was Marcy that drove from the clubhouse down the long driveway to approach me. She parked at the entrance gate on the other side of the road from where I was standing and got out of her car and yelled over to me. I stood still throughout our interaction, facing her across the road with at least 20 feet distance between us at all times. This is clearly shown on the short piece of video footage that I managed to capture. You can see this for yourself on my very first video on this channel, titled Party Time with Child USA, June 2024. Another allegation in the same piece of writing.
George protested Child USA at a golf course in June, saying, "Pip, pip, cheerio, Mike Rinder's got to go."
This never happened. I did indeed sarcastically suggest that I might chant this while discussing the upcoming protest on a live stream before the event, but it never happened on the day of the event, as the opportunity never presented itself. I did post 2 protest signs on the grass verge opposite the public entrance that read, "Rinder must go, ask me why," along with 2 other signs that read, "Child USA failed children of Scientology." Then they accused me of lying with the following statement.
George is deliberately lying about Mitch and trying to stir up even more hatred.
The problem is that in my videos about Mitch, I am just reacting to his lie, which is shown on video, when he emphatically went on the record.
There haven't been children in the Sea Org in 20 years, okay? I'm sorry to disappoint you, but there's no children in hotels. There's no children being abused. It's that whole thing is a big, it's just a misdirection.
So who lied? Mitch in his original video statement? Or me? Mitch has since recanted his original statements regarding kids in Scientology, thereby admitting the lie of his original assertions. Later on, in this same blog post, they take aim at Marilyn Honig for associating with and supporting me. Friendship would seem to be a foreign concept to these people. They seem to take issue with the fact that I visited Marilyn in her hometown, as if that were a crime. This is their big gotcha. For the record, I didn't visit Marilyn. I visited Marilyn and Duncan, her husband and their 2 sons, along with 2 dear friends of Marilyn that had flown in to spend the week with her and Duncan. The only crime committed during my visit to Vermont was an attempted assassination by me by trying to induce a cardiac arrest of the passengers in the car with my wild and crazy driving on the winding mountain roads of Vermont, according to sources that were present in the car. The author goes on to insist that Marilyn must remove me as a moderator from her channel. For the record, I offered Marilyn my resignation, which she immediately refused to accept. I wish to extend my sympathies to all the subscribers and members of Marilyn's channel, but you're stuck with me for now.
I don't know if Marilyn is encouraging him to do some of her dirty work, but she is certainly allowing him to spew a lot of hatred and misinformation.
Let me be clear, there have been many well-known double acts throughout history. Batman and Robin, Sonny and Cher, Laurel and Hardy, Abbott and Costello, but Marilyn and George are no such thing. There is Marilyn and there is George. There is no Marilyn and George. I don't need permission to create my content, and Marilyn doesn't tell me what to do. We are 2 separate creators pursuing the same goal of amplifying the crimes of Scientology in our own way. To the anonymous author, I would say, do not use your perception of my actions in an attempt to tarnish the reputation of Marilyn Honig. This is a cheap guilt by association insinuation and is shameful. It is beneath you, but then again, maybe it's just par for the course. Separate from this blog post, and in addition to the above allegations, I have been accused of being two-faced by an ex-Scientologist YouTube creator. The allegation was based...
Okay, I'm gonna pause it there as you get into something else, but yeah, so I love your dry humor though. It's pretty funny.
I had to get back at Hef after making that.
I know she's gonna laugh when she sees it.
Oh, she already has.
Oh yeah, this was the thing. This was the thing that stuck out to me. Marilyn allowing him.
Well, yeah.
How old are you?
I need your permission. Please, Marilyn, can you sign my permission slip so I can release my video?
Yes, I will allow it. I will allow it.
All right. Thank you.
So stupid. Okay, so we've got quite a few comments start. So you want to go through them with me?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's do it.
If you want, you know, you don't have to. I'm not gonna force you, but I'll allow you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm so grateful for your permission.
So silly. Okay. No,
somebody
first of all, I got your
somebody
channel.
said somebody before we get started, somebody was making the analogy that you are my evil overlord and control me, everything I do. And I said, well, you just have to look at the Halloween werewolf show, and maybe there's some truth in that. Who knows? There's a big clue in the Halloween werewolf show. I didn't know you had that in the room, so I'm glad.
I just happen to have it on one of those anthropology chairs.
Yeah. Oh,
I guess I probably shouldn't wear this. Well, nobody will take me seriously, right?
yeah. Oh, well, yeah. But the trolls will accuse you of making fun of things, of whatever. They'll find something.
I don't care. I give them something to talk about. Check out literally no one. There's your channel. Oh, all right.
All right. Back to the serious.
Yes, back to
top stuff. Let's answer questions.
reality. No, you made me mess up my hair. Okay, emeritus. Here it is. Constance June. Hey there. Emeritus retirement with benefits. I wonder what benefits. Oh yeah, so like a professor emeritus would be. They still have like a
pension and whatnot.
pension type.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure that would apply to Child USA, but
No, because it's volunteer.
yeah.
Yeah. Swedish Lena, the time is nigh for Mike to come out and come clean on all his cover-ups. Yeah, I would agree, but I mean, I don't know what he covered. He claims he never covered up anything. I find that extremely hard to believe, but he really hasn't answered any questions either. So
what I find questionable is that Mike has, throughout the time that I watched him on YouTube, he has instant recall, perfect recall about everything, to do during his time in Scientology as head of OSA. Now that he's head of OSA Emeritus, all of a sudden his memory has been wiped clean of any information regarding child abuse.
And and if we're talking dates, he said he was in the hole and this time, but he was still running OSA for a hole. There's all kinds of documents that are saying with dates with his signature or his whatever they call it.
Yeah,
his initials on it.
He was flown to London during that John Sweeney Panorama program, right? While he was in the hole.
He left.
You could tell he looked emaciated and he looked physically, didn't look good. So yeah, and that was during the time he was in the hole, right? But he was flown to London to work on an OSA mission. So anyway.
Yeah, a lot of things just don't make sense. Joe McCoy comment, Mike has a lot to answer for, but this is a sure way for him not to do so. This is my opinion. And yeah, I agree. I mean, I believe that he has poor health and he is in poor health and he has been for a while. So again, I don't wish him any ill. I wish him well. I hope that he gets better, but at the same time, like you said, it's not a get out of jail free, literally not a get out of jail free card. And I think about what Doug Scott Kramer used to say to me, and this was when I was still a fan of Mike, and this was before the Aftermath Foundation thing happened and everything fell apart. And anyone who knew Doug or watched his channel knew that he did not mince words. And I remember, God, it had to be 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. We've been talking for hours. And he's like, Marilyn, Mike was a criminal. He is a criminal. And if people knew what he did, he could be in jail. I was like, oh, no. And a lot of people like to say that Doug, and I don't like to bring this up very often because he's not here to confirm or deny this, but take it for what it's worth, that one of the last things he said to me about Aaron was, yeah, Aaron can be cocky. He can be, and I don't know. I think Doug could have a little bit of an edge too, sometimes, but I think he had a certain amount of respect for him. But one thing he did say to me was that he was glad that Aaron finally saw the light about Mike Rinder and saw what he was like. So for whatever it's worth, you know, Aaron, he's not perfect. He has a lot of things that he probably shouldn't have done, but he did not cover up crimes. He's not, you know, he's not OSA emeritus. You know, he's a little bit of like a crazy teenager right now, maybe, but at the same time, this is different. I feel like this is very different, and this is
Absolutely.
very insidious. And it doesn't have to do with anyone's personal life or sex life at all.
100%. When the news broke that he was gone from Charities USA, I thought, oh, wow, you know, now what do I do? You know, I'm kind of in the middle of the Miriam story. And as you said, you know, it kind of highlighted my videos, highlighted a couple of things. I wanted to take the rabbit interview and pick it apart and break it down and like look at it like each individual piece to like trying to understand what has actually happened, right? Like I think Miriam, given the time frame in the original interview, everything's there. Everything that I'm covering is just expanding on what is in that interview and then what came afterwards, right? But you know, I thought, well, you know, maybe I can move on from the Miriam thing. But I'm only halfway through it. And then I thought, well, no, I haven't told the whole story, but my objective has been met, maybe. So do I need to finish the story? And I decided that I do need to finish the story to have it on record, because who knows what's coming down the pike, right? There are many cases about to come up. The civil case with Jane Doe's and, you know, and other things. I can't remember Leah's case and different things going on where there's an opportunity to depose Miss Gavage. Miss Rinder will never come clean. You said you'd hope he'd come clean now that he stepped down. That's never going to happen. But if he's deposed in a courtroom, he's going to be put in a position where he can't get away with puffery and fluffery and laughing and batting off questions like, oh, well, I don't know. You know, I wasn't there. I was just the head of the operation. I wasn't in charge of every little piece of it. But yeah, you were.
Oh, and I went to the FBI for a whole day and talked to them for a whole day. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm not, you know, I'm not trying to, you know, have conspiracy theories here. It's just there has been enough evidence to be like, well, this doesn't make sense. Just asking questions. And that's what I feel like people have a right to do, is to ask questions.
There's a lot more questions than there are answers, and people are not going to be satisfied. I won't be until we get some answers.
And as far as your channel goes, I wanted to pop this actually up, is just going back to the beginning, just like with the nonprofit that I founded. Whenever I feel like our purpose is kind of like, you know, should we keep going, or what are we here for? Or there's things that kind of distract us or get us in, you know, like get us into another kind of down another rabbit hole. It's always good to go back to your mission statement. So I thought, you know, maybe we could just read, because you were saying you didn't know if you wanted to go on or if you should. And this is your about page on your channel: an independent channel focused on amplifying and supporting the voices of the children of Scientology, supporting all advocacy efforts to address the abuse of children within the cult, past and present. So by your own words, I would say keep going, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I kind of say that in the video. There's a lot more to talk about when it comes to children in Scientology, past and present, right? You know what? I didn't even refer back to that mission statement. But it's burned into my brain. I mean, I never thought this was a one and done deal with literally no one. That, you know, Miriam, once I was done with Miriam, I always had plans to go on and cover other topics or maybe individual cases or whatever. I'm a never in. So, you know, what can I bring to the table? when you've got so many ex-Scientologists out there talking, speaking their truth. So I was doubting myself in the beginning. When all men doubt you and make allowance for their doubting too, you know that line. But I felt like I could bring a different perspective to it, and I could dig a little deeper and burrow through and pick it apart and make it like relatable in some way. That's my objective, as I would have done with the Miriam story, right? Literally no one is not going away.
Good. That's good to know. Okay, I'm going to run through some more of these comments. Failed pessimist. Hey there. I agree. It's time for Mike to really tell what he knows and get it all out. Yeah, I would agree.
That might happen in a court of law.
You never know. Yeah. I don't think it's going to happen voluntarily. Arkansas Flamingo. Literally no one. George, thank you, George, for the light you shine. I agree. I'm glad that you're putting this all in one place too, and kind of laying it out chronologically. I think it's a good thing to do. I really do. And you have it there. And a lot of these things happened, in the course of last year. And it's like, it's not that it's, that's so last year. Because as soon as your video drops for the size of your channel, you get tons of views right away. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
There's a lot
more. I think I've got like 1,700 subscribers now. I dropped a lot. I've lost a few over the last couple of months, which is, YouTube, whatever.
Bye-bye.
And but my video's up to 2.5 thousand views right now from yesterday morning or afternoon, whatever it was. So yeah, it tells me, you can tell from the stats that there's a lot more. It breaks it down from subscriber views to non-subscriber views. So I'm getting a lot of non-subscriber views, which is encouraging. It helps.
It's getting out there.
Right.
Yeah.
It's spreading the word.
This does make you wonder how many, how many
Well,
cases. And it makes me think of Matt Pesh too. How many cases did he have a part of writing the checks and sending people off?
Well, none, according to Mike Rinder. He was never involved in anything to do with any child abuse at all, ever, that he can recall. I can't recall. I don't recall. I was busy doing other stuff.
Yeah.
Our
Nancy Ellie says, comment, I'm not sure anything has been resolved, though. Not really.
No.
No.
Well, the one thing I feel that has been resolved is that Mike Rinder can't hurt people with a seal of approval, of Child USA and the Aftermath Foundation.
Yeah.
Like I said, we don't know how it happened. We can't assume anything. But the fact that it has happened is good. I'm good. I'll take it. That's
Well, can I play conspiracy theory here? Get my tinfoil hat. I don't have.
They'll make hay with that.
I don't give a shit.
Go for it.
Okay.
You have my permission.
I'm just wondering something. Okay. So, and I'm not the first one to express this publicly or privately. So the whole thing with Mike Rinder stepping down, and because of his health, which is probably a factor, I'm sure it is, but he is still writing on his blog. I don't know what is going on. He could be getting chemo, things like that. But I think that it had to have come, I don't know, something like this had to have happened also because of the public outcry, I think. I think it has something to do with it. And I think they're probably encouraging him to bow out gracefully at this point, because he could still be on the board. He could still be on the board and not really do much, especially if he's capable of writing a blog. He's capable of being on a board of directors. So the fact that he stepped down from both boards, what he's still writing on his blog, I don't know. Again, conspiracy theory, but I think maybe he was kind of, exited, left, and let's leave, and with your dignity intact. But at the same time, there's still a lot of questions. So I'm just putting it out there. I'm not saying they're lying. I'm just saying I think it might be a factor.
I just want to say one thing. And I made the point in the video I just released. I do not. I wasn't the only one. I wasn't the only one pushing for this. People were pushing for Mike's removal from Child USA way before I came on the scene, and people have written letters. Mine just started out with a random letter, right? And then I see, well, I'll see where this goes, and I didn't expect what happened to happen with a YouTube channel and everything else, but I've probably been the most vocal or public about and focused on the single issue, right? Other people have been fighting this battle for a long time. So I don't take, whatever sense of achievement there is to be taken from this, it belongs to a lot of people. It's not just me.
Absolutely. And I think that you represent that very beautifully in your videos, because you take from other people's point of view and bring it all together. And one thing I wanted to ask you, if you remember which video it was that you talked about the thing with the look back window, because I think that was one sticking point that really bothered me as far as Mike's involvement in Child USA, is because he recommended so many survivors to these lawyers, and they all knew about the look back window, but somehow the victims, the survivors, did not know about that.
Right.
So there was
never,
a huge disconnect there. I don't
Right.
understand that, but like you said on your signs, that Child USA failed the children of Scientology. So if you could just kind of just give us a tiny overview of that.
Well, the fact is, Rinder claims, there was a whole Brian Kent situation, right? Which we kind of know that Rinder was aware of about 18 months before it blew up. And the fact that, that's by the by, that was the actions of Brian Kent. Rinder's not responsible for that. But he was aware of it, and he was aware that the California look back window. In the interview with John Atek, he actually takes credit for the look back window.
Yes.
He says, well, that was a result of me and Leah, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, dude, they've been working on this since 2002. You were in the hole. How were you helping Child USA, push this look back window initiative? But in their own words, talking about the public image policy of LRH, Rinder and Leah Remini point out that the objective of safe pointing is to, insinuate yourself into organizations and steal the credit. It's stolen valor, if you like. It's just like the Sea Org uniforms. It's all, in Mike's own words, it's puffery and fluffery.
That was very eye-opening when you put that clip in your video, and it was an interview that Mike and Leah did with Apostate Alex, I believe.
Right.
And again, there was that kind of just ha 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 joking around. I was just like, this is terrible.
Right.
This is awful stuff. And it seems like it's still going on. So it's just icky, hiding in plain sight, on the board of Child USA. And I see the safe pointing, and again, can't prove it, but it's just
it must
be
tough when
good.
you come from a cult that celebrates narcissism, to leave that behind, where for decades you believed yourself to be infallible, and to launch yourself into the real world and not grasp the fact that you're no longer infallible. You never were. It was an illusion. So yeah, I think that, that seems to be a common theme with that group of people, right? That they believe that they're infallible. They'll point the finger and they'll condemn you. They'll condemn me. They'll condemn Aaron, or whoever they want, whoever the flavor of the month is, right?
Yeah.
But,
Sure.
and, how dare, the piece about me was, my pearls, George has criticized Stephanie Hutchinson. He's a monster. Like, holy crap, did you not read the shit that she wrote? Is she holier than thou? Yes, she is in their eyes. She's infallible. They just, it's, I don't know. I don't know what to say about them, really.
I just want to
About
read
that mindset.
Aisen's comment.
It's
Aisen's
delusion.
comment regarding the look back window. I just wanted to read this. Bragging to be responsible for the look back window, and yet interesting that only one ex used that and not with the help of him. Right. Only
Right.
one.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's the point.
not because of him.
So the way I understand it, there were 12 to 13 approximately ex-Scientologist children, victims that were pursuing justice through Child USA and taking it, to using the look back window. Not a single one, a big fat zero, was successful. And
Yep.
Rinder was there as an advocate for the children of Scientology, as a subject matter expert, and didn't even think, oh God, it didn't, communicate, broadcast out to the ex-Scientology community. The look back window is about to expire. We need to pick up the pace here. We need to do something.
Instead, they're treated with coldness and contempt, which is so gross.
Yeah. I mean, they were unaware of the expiration looming on the look back window in California. So, he's supposed to be a master communicator and an advocate. He fell down on the job. Sure, he was dealing with his own health issues at the time, but he had enough time to go on air and, and do his Three Amigos streams and whatever else he was up to with his YouTube channel. That was, just failed. A big flunk for Rinder on that. Was it intentional? I suspect it was, but,
I just can't imagine. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I don't think like that.
Yeah, looking at the what transpired, there's very few conclusions one can reach.
I just want to read some more comments because we have like 25 of them. Constitution. I have some criticisms of Mike, but I don't wish his health issues on anyone. Yeah, I agree.
100%.
Yeah. And this is the good point. If the people who participated in the Third Reich can be held accountable even when they are rolled into the courtroom in a wheelchair recently, then Mike Rinder can for his actions in Scientology. Good point. I mean, I agree with that. I do, because I think that accountability is important. For me, having come out of a cult and, it's thrown in my face by even the trolls that I abused my children. Well, now I consider it abuse, and legally it was not abuse, but it should have been maybe, but it wasn't. I was told I was, smack. I never left marks on them.
You know what? That issue,
I felt like that was abusive, but it's like, because I admitted to that, somehow I'm some horrible abuser. Well, okay. I'm just glad that my children forgave me and that I came clean, because now my conscience is clean. Because no amount of controlling the narrative or spinning it is going to make it okay what I did.
Well, the thing is, the only people that can sit in judgment of you on that issue is your kids, and they all love
Right.
you.
And the court of law, if it was illegal, which it wasn't, but it still was
I've
awful.
met two
You
of
know?
your kids, and it's pretty obvious that they're not. They love you deeply, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they're just like, they just joke about it, but yeah, it's oh geez. Oh, Aussie, I don't claim. He's been out of Australia for so long. I don't know if that counts really. Yeah. So we're talking about the Fleas and Dogs letter, mischief managed. I honestly can't believe that letter was written by an actual lawyer. My granddaughter could have written a more professional letter. Yeah. I mean, just they never really came out and said, hey, we shouldn't have done that. I did see Mike, in an email, he's like, yeah, that was problematic. And then he went as far as to say that who the dog was, which was Rabbit. I was like, oh my God, can you just say you're sorry and that's it?
That
Or
letter,
come out and say you're sorry? They never made a public statement that I know of
that
saying that was
letter
a
is
bad
in the
idea.
that letter's in the pipeline for a special video, because there's something about that letter that people are not aware of. There's a
Really?
backstory to it. Yeah,
Okay. Well, we'll look forward
which
to that.
will be told.
hmm Joe McQueen, Mike put himself out there as an expert and a celebrity, but he's really just a fool. The old saying, you can run, but you can't hide, comes to mind. And that's the thing, too. You put yourself out there as a celebrity, as an expert, as a hero, and everything. You are opening yourself up to criticism. And this whole thing of safe pointing and hiding in plain sight and almost like going straight to the top of a movement so people get their orders from you instead of like the other way around as far as how can I help? It's more like I'm the authority, I'm out the top, and you peons are going to believe what I feed you.
Well,
You know?
that's the point, right? I would take issue with what Joel said. I don't believe that Rinder was the fool. I think he was the knave, and we were all the fools. To be allowing ourselves to take him at face value. But he was a knave in Scientology, and he's a knave since he left.
I'm just going to read. Asen has 3 comments together, but I'm going to read them because they're really, really good. We read all of them. I don't usually do speculation, but I think Mike Rinder's involvement of the show was to save himself by influencing what should and shouldn't be reported. Good point. Good point. About that video of ATAC with Rinder, also him comparing backlash of Rinder. Yeah, that was so wrong. And it was almost like the last, excuse me, the very last thing they said on that video. And that's what they left you with. And I was like, I know that he's British and maybe he doesn't understand the history, but that just cut me to the quick. It was just like, oh my, no.
Yeah,
That was terrible.
right.
Terrible thing to say.
I've got friends, that I was in a group I was previously in, African Americans, that told me stories of their family members that were lynched, and it's a scar that they carry, as survivors of lynching. That is not what's really interesting was, and it wasn't a conscious move on my part, was when in the video that I've just released, I talk about not leaving people hanging. And on screen, it's the clip of ATAC laughing about oh, hang him. Kind of it was just kismet. It wasn't. But yeah. Just reminding people of what he said. But,
Yeah,
that
really bothered me.
Making
And it still does. It's very triggering to me. It just is. And I've been watching about the history of America and the different presidents and got to Lincoln and after the reconstruction of the South. And it went on and on and on for many, many, many decades, that kind of behavior. So just, yeah, it's not funny.
I know they were, I think, family members were lynched in as late as the 50s. Right.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Asen, I find it hilarious and ludicrous that Marilyn is the evil puppet master and George is the brainless puppet. I know. I thought I was the brainless puppet because that's what I'm accused of, being Aaron's flying monkey.
I haven't got the costume to be the evil. You've got the costume.
That is true. That is true.
You've got to own it.
I can crochet myself a flying monkey outfit too.
You're going to crochet me a monkey mask and some wings.
3 cheers for Aaron the Overlord. That's right. That's right. Every time I hear Aaron say, send me an email, I laugh and like, yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, whatever, Aaron. Liz Gail, I think I'm coming back to the land of the living. Yes, thank you for the shout out. Love you. I'm so glad. That's awesome. Welcome back. Oh yeah, Marilyn allowing him. What the hell? I know, that's just so stupid. So stupid. How long was he the head of OSA? I want to say
I think
30-ish.
Like 20 years. I mean, he
20.
was in Scientology for 40-something years, but I think as head of OSA, I think it was maybe 20 or
was at least 20. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought it was a little longer, but
I think so. Right.
mm-hmm.
And he's been head of OSA Emeritus for about 15, 20 years now, almost 20 years.
Head of OSA Emeritus. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. That's fair, I guess. If he was a long time head of OSA, how come he didn't have a clue of anything? Wouldn't he be removed as long as he did a bad job? Wouldn't he have been removed? I'm not sure. I think she does voice to text sometimes, so I'm not sure what she's saying, but yeah, I get it. Right. Wouldn't he been removed if he did a bad job? Yeah.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
And how could he say he doesn't know things? I mean, I don't know. He was the head, so I would think he would know a lot.
You know, I've people have reached out to me since I started. One person in particular that worked with Rinder in the OSA office and said that, you know, whenever one of his targets suffers from ill fortune, he would celebrate, like literally celebrate, high-fiving and slapping and cheering in the office. You know, the point that the conclusion I came to, Rinder didn't leave Scientology because he objected to LRH's policies or the doctrine of Scientology. He lived that life for 40-something years, I think. And he was really happy because he was top dog in his in OSA, and he was loving it, loving every minute of what he was doing until Miscavige turned on him. And that's when he started, you know, he ran to escape Miscavige, not to escape Scientology. Mm-hmm. And his actions in the past year have shown me, and I point out in my videos, that he's still operating under LRH tech. You know, he's still following LRH tech in many ways. So that's all I got to say about that.
Hey, Kim White, let's not forget John Atack was going to follow up with more on the subject, and I never saw a follow-up. That is true. That's when I changed my whole perspective on him. Miriam was a child. How dare they attack? Yeah, just disgusting.
100%.
That was an awful interview.
Yeah.
Gigi's mom says, excited. Thank you for being a member, Gigi. Excited to check out your channel, George. Great sense of humor. And I think I could listen to read the phone book and enjoy it. So as we can see, this is not his real voice.
Yeah, that you can, I give me a book and I'll feed it through my AI software to read it back to you. That is not my voice. I mean, somebody
put a 1 in the chat if you'd like. If you'd like George to switch to his real voice, or put a 2 if you like the one he's using. Yeah, a lot of people seem to think it's your voice. So
But well, somebody wrote in the comments in yesterday's video, oh, this is just AI. In other words, you can't believe this is just bullshit created by AI, right? Oh God, no.
oh, there's a two. There's a two. You cooled. I think the ones there's
But
another two.
like that, yeah, I think I'm saying it's an even
Ellie
split.
would say one. She's not. I don't think she's here, but she would definitely say one. She wants to hear your real voice. It would be a lot more work.
Yeah,
right?
Reading and then recording and re-recording and yeah. The AI, you can fix one word and just.
Jason said, I totally thought I did at first too, and I'm like, wait, no, this isn't. Well, the end of the first video, I was like, no, I know it's not.
But it's in the
Happy.
credits. It said narration, AI generated voice, right? And somebody tried to use the AI voice as the big gotcha that I'm just a phony because it's an AI voice.
No, you disclosed that. Yeah, the trolls should talk, right? It's hilarious. They don't
Right, they
ever
don't
show
even
their
use
face
their real names.
or their face. Yeah.
They don't
Oh,
even
on
use
Hef's
their real
behalf,
name.
she's voting for Hef and on
Oh
behalf of
yeah,
Hef.
Hef could be my
Absentee voting.
my voice actor.
Yeah, speaking of voting, if tomorrow is an American election, I don't care who you vote for, but I would say consider voting. Get
I'm
your
done.
butt
I
out there and
voted
vote.
already. I'm good.
I voted too. Yeah. Vanessa. Oh, the two Vanessas are here. Vanessa, I love the long interviews. Yes, I loved that interview. Very similar voices. Yes, I thought it was really, really good. To Doug. Yes, Xenia Marley.
We have 10 more
Got your team.
staff questions.
Okay, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Stacey, where's it? The like button could use a touch assist. Yes, that would be great. If you could hit the like, that would be amazing. And I just want to say welcome to Misty. That's me. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Yay, I got a new cub. Seal clap. I can't do anything without getting made fun of, so I just do all the things. I just do
I
all the things.
love the steel claps. I steel clap all day long. Just because it annoys people.
Clap.
I've heard it annoys people, so I'm doing it.
It does. Even Rocky does it. He'll go like this, and then he'll go like this, and then he'll go like that, and then he'll go like that. It's so funny. He plays patty cake. Ethan, Aaron is humane with all the flaws and mistakes, and he never denies it, opposite to some other people. Yeah. He is very compassionate. I know that about him. And he doesn't have that coldness. I mean, Mike just has this cold disdain for people and contempt. I've seen it and I've felt it. And I've experienced it. I have. Oh, what is this supposed to be? Marge? There's no George Jorlin.
Oh, like Jennifer and what was the Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston thing? Where they combined the names.
Yeah, that was a thing for a while. Independent, concerned citizens. That's right. Yeah. Lathanda, I feel for Mike and his family about his health, but illness or age or good deeds doesn't excuse crimes and bad behavior.
Correct.
Yep.
Agreed.
Yep.
100%.
And I know that Lathanda is from Germany and their history. Yeah, I understand where she's coming from. 100%. And Lathanda was a huge supporter of Mike Rinder. And after the first stuff came out, I waited, looked at the facts, drew conclusions for myself, and then decided my personal way away from his content. Yep. And that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The same here. With me, massive support.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Jason, instead of doing lives about the soon expiration of the look back window, they continued about where Shelley BS. Yeah, they could have been they had a platform to tell the victims that that was expiring or that it even existed and was expiring.
Yeah,
Instead, it's where Shelley and even, even to this day, it's always like,
all the
oh, let's talk
clickbait.
about let's talk about, let's talk about the good old days. Let's talk about the escape from Scientology. Let's talk about all these stories. And it's like, yeah, let's do something, talk about the stuff, for real. I don't know. Nancy Ellie, let's not forget that even Leah Remini was also a child in Scientology. Yeah. Yeah, I think she was in the Sea Org for like a very short time.
Yeah.
But she was, and I'm really excited about the possibility or probability, I guess, of Nicole Kidman doing an autobiography and doing hopefully a tell all about Scientology, which I was hoping that Lisa Marie Presley's memoir would have some of that in there, not so much. But yeah, Leah she left Scientology after asking a question, where's Shelley, of course, and then she was interrogated at her own cost at the flag base for weeks, if not months. So she did suffer some abuse and a lot of fleecing of her funds, that's for sure. But I'm glad she got out. And again, I don't wish her any evil either.
We have Vladimir Putin in the house isn't happy with what that we're being critical of Mike Rinder.
Oh well, that's okay. They can have an opinion.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't see Vladimir. I don't know if we really want to listen to them. Oh, okay, he's gone. Yeah, good. Bye. See you later, Vladimir. I'm sure you're busy worried about other things. Okay. Amber Vanass. Unfortunately, Mike was raised in a cult since he was a kid and doesn't know anything else, and it kind of makes you messed up. Not defending him. I'm neutral and love everyone, and that's totally fair. Thank you for bringing that up. I absolutely agree with that he is a victim as well. Where I maybe have a little bit of a different opinion is that's fine, but putting yourself up as the authority and having people kind of look to you for direction and for truth while possibly covering things up and not being forthcoming and saying, oh, look, a squirrel. Oh, look over here. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain who was in charge for many, many, many years. So we're just saying, accountability. I was in a cult too, but I don't excuse what I did to my children and my, and I know that, Amber. I'm not saying that. I'm just kind of saying from my own perspective, but I don't wish him ill. I don't hate him. I've been accused of being the most vile, hateful, unhinged, crochet bitch, C-word hoe of the universe. And that's how somebody perceives me, whatever, but I know it's not true. I don't feel any hate. Sometimes I get cheeky and snarky and sarcastic because things just like, oh my God, like how to process this is insane, but I don't feel any hate and I don't wish anybody evil,
I've never seen anything coming from anyone in SPTV discussing in great detail Mike Rinder's sex life or lack of sex life or questioning his his marriage,
or encouraging people to do disgusting, ad hominem attacks. Like I did apologize for that one thing that I did encourage with Stephanie Hutchinson. I retracted that. I'm not going to do that anymore. But at the same time, pot or kettle here.
Right,
it's just unbelievable.
But yours was satirical humor but there were some really graphic, disgusting, and personal things revealed about Aaron or discussed or speculated about Aaron. Then screw you if you want to sit in judgment on your throne of morality
Yeah,
And
and again, I
yeah,
have emails that I've not released, but it is a whole long laundry list. It took me like I can't read that well, so it took me many, 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 many minutes to read this. It was like I had to take breaks this whole because I was like, this is awful and too much. But yeah, it's I guess what they would call a dead agent pack. And it was all personal stuff that there was really not proof for. And it didn't matter, even if there was proof for it. This is not illegal, but it's just not what I want to know. This is yuck. Yeah. And again, I've said over and over, hey, anybody can be removed for a board for any reason, as far as I know, unless there are specific reasons and they can go and, go to the court of law and say, okay, I shouldn't have been removed from this and whatever, do a libel thing. But my board could remove me because they don't like my shirt that I have on today. It doesn't matter. They can remove me for any reason. So I never said he shouldn't have been removed. I just don't like the way they did it and how they treated the victims and the stakeholders, the donors.
With Aaron and with Miriam, right? It's not his removal from the board, for example, wasn't something that I was a bit surprised. But I gave them the grace to think that made allowances, saying, well, it's their decision. They did it legally. It wasn't, whatever. But it was the fair gaming that came afterwards through the blog post, through the, and all. I mean, Mike Rinder, you don't even have to point the finger at Stephanie Hutchinson. Mike Rinder's blog post about Miriam and Rabbit was vile and disgusting. And that's something else that will be the topic of a video coming from literally no one. Just to put you guys on warning what's coming down the pike. Without giving too much information away right now. But yeah, there's a lot of material there to still go over.
Awesome. So Missy says, most of the creators encourage us to make up our own minds by looking at the facts ourselves. Right. That's the thing, is presenting the facts and not hiding them and not just spinning the narrative and being like, nothing to see here. No, open book. Let's look at it, and see, because we're here to support the survivors and also to expose the abuses. And part of the abuses were people at the top abusing their subordinates. That's what I see here, but no, we don't want to look at that because we might be incriminated. Oh, Kim Collins says, I think he's been asked to step down from both as they know that something's going to come from it and he needs to be removed before them. I also wonder if the doctor has given him a length of time. Yeah. I hope that it's not, as bad as maybe some people think it might be. I hope not. But it's sad. Yeah. Should have crocheted them an inescapable straitjacket. Right. Love you, Nancy Alley. Thank you. Give some props and some love to Nancy Alley. She is an amazing part of this community. She works so hard, and I'm so glad to have her here today. Because usually George is back there lately. I don't know if that makes you the puppet master or the slave.
Well, apparently in the blog post that I featured, I control the narrative in your chat.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, it's all
Wow.
me. Yeah, because I'm
all your fault.
Master. I haven't figured it out yet.
You must be because you decide what things to star for me to read. So I'm the puppet.
No, I think they're
Okay.
talking about my comments in chat. That I get everyone get started off, and I'm the warm-up act, and whatever. I don't know.
Hey, Dusty, good to see you. So I think we've come to the end. We'll leave it at this. Let's see. Look, see, analyze, absorb, talk about it, analyze, then share. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And I want to just put this back up if anyone's not subscribed to Literally No One. There it is. It's at Literally No One SP. And I love that photo, or that, what do you call it? Collage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Composition, right?
Composition.
Yeah.
Yes, your cover photo is great. All right. Well, thank you so much, George. Any last words?
No, I think I've said my piece.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And please subscribe if you're not subscribed, and check to make sure you're subscribed. Leave me a comment. I read them all. Leave a comment for George if you have any questions. And my email is, oh, he left. My email is coffeecultsandcrafts@gmail.com. And we'll see you all later. Bye. Have a great day. Zenu, Marlene, everybody partake. Cheers. This is good coffee. This is why, my hubby makes the coffee.